Okay, I'm gonna start the recording now.
I'm not gonna say anything. You just run through. So.
Okay, that's gonna be fun. All right, let's try it. Okay.
I will come in when there's a hiccup.
Let's do that. It's gonna be fun. All right, so we're gonna start with doing Dockers today, right? So let's see how quickly we can go through these commands and get this thing out of the way. So let's do sudo. Let's say we just launched this terminal. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do sudo apt get update. So let's do that real quick. So as you can see, this is finding all the patches it's required. Let's do ls. Now we are gonna go ahead and install Dockers. So the command for that is sudo apt get install docker.io -y. Why -y? Because there's a part in the process for installation where it requests your feedback. So we're just auto submitting it in advance. So this way it's a very smooth installation. There you go. Usually when it's right now it's just smooth, otherwise it just prompts you quickly to ask for your feedback that X amount of megabytes is required for the installation. Do you agree? And then at that time you put the yes. So now that we installed Docker, let's see what version of Docker we have installed. So sudo docker -version. As you can see, this is the Docker version we have. And now what we're going to do is, now that we have the Docker, we're going to go ahead and pull Ubuntu. So it's like you're downloading the image of Ubuntu inside the Docker. So we're going to do sudo docker.
Do Docker update. Update the package first.
Update the package. Okay.
Sudo apt get update.
Sudo apt get update.
Okay. All right.
That's good. So now, so we installed, we got the Docker running, we pulled the image, right?
We have to pull the image now.
So now we're gonna go ahead and pull the image. Sudo docker pull Ubuntu. So this is literally downloading Ubuntu on the Docker we just installed. So let's see if our image was successful. Sudo docker images, and you can see this is the image on the repository, the image ID created 10 days ago, and size of the file, which is 72.8 megabits per second. Okay, now we want to get, let's do this one more time. Now I want to go and run this image. So the command for that is sudo docker run -it -d and then the image name. This gives you a confirmation that a transaction has taken place. So now we're going to do sudo docker ps. The command for sudo docker ps literally just shows you the active container IDs. So ps is also, if you're in the Linux machine, when you type in ls, so ls tells you all the directories you have. So in sudo docker ps tells you all the containers that it currently has, which are active. And then sudo docker ps -a will show you all active and inactive container IDs, right? So now that we know that this is the image running and we ran this image, right? The Ubuntu, and then it tells you create, so container ID image command created and status. So this was created 12 seconds ago initially, and then the status was 11 seconds. And then anytime you do sudo docker ps -a or ps, it'll always give you the the most recent time. So now it's been about a minute. It was created about a minute ago, and the status is it's about a minute ago as well. That's pretty much the status. So now that we've performed this, what we'd like to do is let's try to before. Would you want to stop this process right now?
Do Docker images first. Let's see. Sudo Docker images.
So let's do sudo docker images. So this is the image,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
So let's practice how to sudo docker stop this process. So sudo docker will basically stop this container from running, right? Sudo docker.
That's an image you have to, yeah. So you got to go back and
So sudo docker stop container ID.
yep.
There you go. So if I do now sudo docker ps, there is nothing running because the part that was running, we stopped it. Now let's see how many containers do we have. So we're gonna do sudo docker ps-a, and it shows you right here, which pretty much means that there's only one container, and that is also inactive at the moment. So let's go and start this container again. Sudo docker run -it space -d, and then the container ID. Request access to resources denied. Sudo docker run -it -d. Okay. Sudo docker run hyphen. So let's do one thing real quick. Sudo docker images. So now sudo docker run -it -d, the image name. There you go. So what I was doing wrong here is, in order to run something, I was getting the container ID, but technically you're supposed to get the image name in order to run something. So give me 1 second. Sudo docker ps-a. Let me do clear.
Well, I think I asked. I think the remember when you do the sudo docker run it, you use Ubuntu. So once you run that, it's going to create a container. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like the master and the slave. The main container is Ubuntu. So that's what you're going to rerun. And then it's going to create another image like what you have on top now, the ODD.
Yes, this one right here.
Yeah, that's the new one that we just run, that you just run when you do sudo docker run -it-d Ubuntu. So it's gonna create a new container for that process, which is up there. Did you see that, right?
Yeah.
And then the other one that we exited 2 minutes ago was the first one that it created when we do sudo run Ubuntu. So automatically after when you run that, it's gonna create a container that is running a live container. It's just like we said for, I think I might be wrong, but like a file.
Right.
And then if you do sudo docker images, let's see if there's going to be an image for that container?
I think there should be only one.
One image, right?
Yeah, because we never saved any existing images.
Okay, so all right, cool.
So I guess since we have both of these running, so let's kill one of them and then let's stop one of them. So this way we'll have both the commands in there, you know?
Okay.
So let's do sudo docker
Stop.
and then we'll do
Container ID.
Yeah, you do that, the one that is running, which is that one.
right.
Okay.
And on the bottom one, we'll do sudo docker
Kill.
which is this one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So this
Okay.
is what we also got last time. So
So
sudo,
it said because it's not running, so you can't kill it.
yeah, because you see both of them were stopped.
Yeah, so I believe once you exit them, you can't run the kill command anymore. Or you can run the remove command, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
do sudo docker remove.
And let's do container ID.
Yeah. Okay. And then the second one. Okay, so do that ps-ana. So they should be gone.
Nothing there.
So
Wow.
so the only time you do the kill is like stop is soft is a soft process. You give the container time to exit, but if you do kill, it's gonna be sudden death.
It's just like taking the power cord out. Like
Yeah, exactly. Instead of shutting the computer with the normal process, start, shut down, you just go, you just yank the plug out and the computer goes kaboom.
so
So
one
now,
thing,
so now we don't have, so now you still have the master image though, from the very first one that we ran. That's
right.
10 days ago. So, and if you remove that, you can remove that completely too.
Yeah, I just want to try something real quick.
Mhm.
Because what we tried all the commands, but the command that we didn't try is once we have, let me run this real quick, right? So let's do sudo docker ps, right? So now we have this one running. Now let's log into this container, right?
Okay.
So sudo docker exec -t container ID and bash, right?
Hyphen IT
IT.
interactive.
Okay. 3,
Enter.
2, 1.
Okay.
Now, as soon as we're into this root, we no longer need sudo commands
Yep.
because now we are the admin, right? So now,
You're not in as a root user, as a power user.
correct. So let me do app get update and see what happens, right? In there. So now that's inside that specific container now, right? We're in there. Do you want to install anything in this?
No, I think from here on is like you create like a Docker file and all that inside the container now.
Right. So now that this is done, let's try to install Apache in this Docker and then save the image, right?
Yeah, you can do that.
So let's do apt get install.
So why don't you clear the screen so that
Yeah, so apt get install Apache 2, right?
Mhm.
So this is us installing Apache. Now you see how this is asking yes or no, right?
Yes.
At the bottom. Now, if I had put in Apache 2 space -y,
it won't ask you?
it will not ask me if I want to say yes or no here. Make sense?
Mhm.
-y. Okay,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
There's always a question like when you're installing package if you want to continue, you know, and then you say yes or no. So okay, this we didn't do yesterday, right? I think this is where you select region. So if you're going to select anything, you're going to select US. Okay, and then availability zone, you're going to take West Virginia. Do you see it? Because I can't see the bottom of your screen. So
No, I only see 10 options, right? So what it's asking now is please select the city or region corresponding to your time zone. So I picked Eastern, which is 5.
yes, 5.
Okay. Okay, it's reinstalling. You know, I've installed this so many times. This is actually the first time I'm actually seeing this type of.
Well, yeah, normally, like those availability zones or the region, it will give you the Eastern region. So, and then under the Eastern region, you have all the West Virginia and, you know, like in there.
Oh, got it. I guess it just broke it down on a higher scale. Just the time zones now.
I think like they kind of like simplifying it now because I know the first time it will list all those West Virginia and all those things. It will list them out, but now it's like you just group them into the Eastern or Pacific.
Got it. Okay, so now we've installed it, right? I want to see if this has any status once you install it to see if it's automatically starts or not. Apache is not running, right?
So you have to start it.
So let's do service.
Apache start.
Apache 2 start. Starting Apache HTTPD web server Apache 2. Okay, so now let's check the status for this one more time. Apache 2 is running. Interesting. Okay, so now that we're done with this, let's try to save this image now.
I think once you.
So you want me to exit?
Yeah, if you can exit because like right now, if you exit now, just exit first.
We will go into our Ubuntu.
So do docker ps. Okay, so right now in this container now, right? We have already installed Apache. So let's say you want to do anything now, you're going to go into that container. Apache is already installed in it. Yeah. So if you create another container, or if you create another container and go into that container and do service Apache status, it's not going to give you anything because you've not installed Apache in that container.
Right.
It's going to be a blank container.
Yep.
So if I think when you, let me see, if you go into that container, you can create images in that container.
So sudo docker exec -it, and let's go in there, right?
Yeah.
Bash. We're in it.
Okay. So can you do you can't do sudo, just say docker now. Docker. I'm not sure, but we can do this like docker
Commit
pool. Let's see.
docker pool.
Can we do docker pool inside this container?
Oh, I see what you mean. Docker pull. And you want to do Ubuntu in here?
Well, we can try. There's no harm in trying. Not found. Can we do docker pool images? And then how do we create an image?
Okay, so in order to do that, let me exit out. So see, right now, sudo, let me go up on top of the screen, sudo docker ps. So right now, this current image that's been up since last 8 minutes, in this, we downloaded Apache, right? We installed Apache in there, right?
Yeah.
So what I would like to do is I would like to save this image as a new image, for example, right?
Okay.
So in order for me to save this as a new image, I'm going to have to type sudo docker, right? Commit container ID, right? And then I'll do Apache 2, right? Once I press enter, it should, there you go. So now I took this